All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely.
This time, we're going to be diving into Chapter 3 of Survive the Island.
Ooh, chapter 3. This is where things start to get really interesting.
They really do. The game takes a pretty dramatic turn in this chapter.
It does.
So we're going to be breaking down all the big moments, all the crazy decisions the players have to make.
Absolutely. We'll see who made it through and, well, who didn't make it.
Exactly, who became part of the island.
Yeah.
One of the things that really stands out in Chapter 3 is the storm.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this massive force of nature
Right.
that just throws everything into chaos.
It really acts as a catalyst, you know?
Yeah.
It forces these players to make these really high-stakes decisions.
And quickly.
Yeah, with like very limited information.
Yeah.
It's a great way to highlight the psychological pressure that they're under.
Oh, absolutely. And we see that right from the start with Jordan.
Oh, Jordan, yeah.
Remember, he decided to go solo at the end of Chapter 2?
Right, following the sound of water.
Right. He's all about that long-term survival.
He is.
And he finds a waterfall.
Mm.
But then he spots this shadowy figure lurking nearby.
Oh, creepy.
I know. Talk about adding to the tension.
Yeah, it's a smart move by the game creators, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like introducing this element of uncertainty, potential danger, right as the storm rolls in.
Oh, and the storm rolls in.
And suddenly, Jordan's got to make a decision.
Oh, yeah. He's got like 3 really tough choices, right?
Yep. Follow the figure, focus on getting water, or just run back to the beach.
I mean, what would you do?
Oh, man. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
But, you know, Jordan, his strength is endurance, right?
Right.
He's all about practicality, thinking about long-term survival.
Right.
So it makes sense that he chooses to prioritize getting water and finding shelter.
Yeah, it's a very Jordan move.
It is. It is.
But it does make you wonder, is playing it safe always the best strategy in this game?
That's a great question.
Because, you know, sometimes you have to take risks
You do.
to get ahead. Well, Jordan's dealing with that. The group that stayed in the jungle, they're facing a completely different challenge.
Oh, yeah. They are.
We've got Kate, Michelle, Peter, and Chelsea.
The Fantastic Four.
They discover this massive stone slab
Oh, yes. The stone slab.
covered in carved skulls.
So creepy.
And if that wasn't creepy enough,
Right.
it starts humming when the storm hits.
Wait, it starts humming.
Humming.
Oh, that's just straight up unsettling. I'd be freaking out.
Oh, yeah. I would be running for the hills.
Right. What do you make of the humming? Any theories?
Oh, man. So many theories. It could be a warning. It
Uh-huh.
could be some kind of signal.
Right, or power source, you know?
Yeah, like a source of energy for the island.
Exactly.
But the fact that it reacts to the storm, right?
Yes.
It suggests that the island itself
right.
is somehow connected to these events.
It's like the island is alive,
Yeah.
right? Like it's reacting to what's happening.
And the players are like pieces on its game board.
yeah.
And they immediately have to make a choice, right?
Right.
Do they take shelter in their flimsy little structure that they built?
Right.
Do they try to uncover the secrets of the stone, even though there's a storm raging around them?
Right, which is terrifying.
Or do they try to find the other players?
Yeah, tough choices.
Tough choices.
And you see their personalities come out, don't you?
Oh, yeah, their personalities and their skill sets are all on display.
Absolutely.
So Peter and Chelsea, they're both very resourceful players.
yes.
They're drawn to the challenge of the stone.
They want to understand it.
They want to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe even control it
Yes, control it.
if they can.
Michelle, she's much more cautious.
Yeah, she's all about safety.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to prioritize staying alive.
Right.
And then there's Cake.
Okay.
The pressure of the game gets to her.
The storms.
The storm, that creepy humming stone,
It's all too much.
she decides to tap out.
Yeah, she just can't handle it.
She's like, I'm done.
It's a good reminder that this game isn't just about physical challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's mental and emotional, too.
You got to be strong in every way to survive this.
Yeah, you gotta have the whole package.
So we've got Jordan at the waterfall.
Right?
We've got the stone slab group dealing with that creepy humming.
Right.
But what about the players who went to find food?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Maoli, Chris, Travis, Jill, and Jim.
They went deep into the jungle.
They did.
And things get a little spooky there.
Things get really spooky really fast.
Yeah, the tension builds.
So first, the jungle goes silent.
Uh-oh, too quiet.
Way too quiet, which is unsettling enough.
Right, like something's about to happen.
And then, bam, this terrifying screech. just shatters the silence.
Oh, I bet they jumped out of their skin.
I know, it's like something out of a horror movie.
The sound designers for this game are amazing.
They really are.
So good at building suspense.
So good, I can only imagine what those players were feeling.
Adrenaline rush, for sure.
Oh, for sure, their heart rates must have been through the roof.
Absolutely, and right on cue.
Yeah.
A cave appears,
Oh, a cave, interesting.
offering potential shelter from the storm.
Oh, so they have a choice to make.
Right. Do they risk the unknown dangers of the cave?
Right.
Or do they try to make it back to the clearing in this crazy weather?
Because you know that storm's coming in strong.
It is. It's a big one.
And it's like a classic dilemma, right?
Yeah. Face a known threat.
Right.
Or an unknown one.
And we see their skills influencing their decisions.
Oh, absolutely. How could they not?
So Chris, his main skill is strength.
Right. He wants to feel in control.
He wants to be in control of the situation.
Yeah.
So he sees that cave as the best way to avoid what he calls imminent doom.
Right. He's thinking tactically.
Totally. And Jill, ever the resourceful one,
Yeah.
she's just hoping to live to see another day.
Makes sense.
And Mayoli, relying on her endurance, sees the cave as the best of two bad options.
Yeah. Not ideal, but gotta make a choice.
You got to do what you got to do.
So what do they do?
So Mayoli, Chris, and Jill choose the cave.
Okay.
And Jim and Travis decide to make a run for it.
Oh, wow. So they split up.
They split up.
Big decision.
Big decision. It's a gamble either way.
It is. That's survive the island for you.
That's the name of the game, right?
Every choice has a consequence.
And speaking of consequences,
oh boy, here we go.
let's move on to the group exploring the shipwreck.
All right, the shipwreck crew.
They've got the most players,
They do. They're a big group.
and they stumble upon something truly intriguing.
Okay, what is it?
A bone dust mural.
What? A bone dust
A
mural.
bone dust mural.
That's both fascinating and creepy.
It really is. What do you think it symbolizes?
Well, remember those creator insights we discussed?
Yeah.
The shipwreck represents the history of the island.
Right.
So maybe this mural is a visual representation of that history.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe even a warning of the dangers that lurk there.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
It adds another layer of mystery.
It really does. But things take a dark turn when most of the group steps into a circle around the mural.
Oh no, what happened?
This is where the game introduces one of its most intriguing and terrifying elements,
Okay, lay it on me.
the curse.
The curse. Tell me more.
All right, so picture this. They're all standing around this bone dust mural,
Right.
and suddenly the storm, intensifies.
Oh no.
And those who stepped inside the circle,
Yeah.
they're marked with this chilling message. You've been marked as mine.
Whoa, hold on, like branded.
Branded, yeah, it's like the island itself is claiming them.
Oh, that's creepy. That's really creepy.
It's so creepy, and we don't know what it means yet.
Right. Is it a death sentence?
Is it a challenge?
A way to separate players.
We don't know, but it definitely raises the stakes.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And amidst all this chaos, Rosendo, using his cunning skill,
Yes, Rosendo.
he manages to find a map and a key.
Whoa, talk about a clutch play.
I know, right? Talk about keeping a cool head under pressure.
Seriously, those items could be crucial.
Yeah.
Maybe even connected to the marking itself.
Right. Like maybe they hold the key to breaking the curse.
Ooh, that would be amazing. So while Rosendo's finding clues,
Yeah.
what are the rest of the shipwreck group doing?
They're scrambling. Some of them are trying to escape the ship.
Makes sense, they're freaking out.
Others are clinging to its, questionable shelter.
Yeah, not the best shelter in a storm.
And poor Sarah, she's left unconscious. She was unable to make a decision.
Oh no, indecision can be deadly in this game.
It really can.
So up on the mast, we've got Graham and Ian.
Oh, yeah, the view from the top.
They're vying for that coveted view of the island.
They want to see everything.
Yeah, they want to get the lay of the land.
And just as Graham reaches the top,
Yeah.
boom, lightning strike.
Oh no, are you serious?
Throws everything into chaos.
Oh my gosh, what happens?
It throws Graham into the sea,
No way.
leaving Ian with another split-second decision.
Oh man, talk about pressure.
Does he try to save Graham?
Right.
Does he climb higher,
Yeah.
hoping to gain some vital information?
Right. Or does he just seek shelter in the ship, which is now potentially cursed?
It's like pick your poison.
It really is. So many tough choices.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Graham finds himself in this strange void.
A void? What do you mean?
It's like a liminal space between life and death.
Wow. That's deep.
And he's given a choice,
Oh, a choice. What kind of choice?
light or darkness.
Ooh, that's interesting. What does he choose?
He chooses darkness.
Wow, a bold move.
It's a bold move. It's suggests a willingness to embrace the unknown,
Yeah.
right? To trust his instincts.
Maybe he believes the darkness holds some kind of power.
Ooh, I like that.
So we've got Graham facing the darkness,
Yeah.
Ian struggling with his decision on the mast,
Right.
and back on the beach, Andrea.
Andrea.
She gets a front row seat to the storm's fury.
Oh, yeah, she's right there in the thick of it.
And guess what she sees?
What does she see?
A terrifying figure
A figure.
emerging from the waves.
Oh, my gosh, what does she do?
And here we see Andrea's resourcefulness in action.
Yeah.
Instead of fleeing, she chooses to confront the figure head on.
Whoa, that's brave.
You know, that's what I call brave.
Or maybe a little crazy.
Well, that's survive the island for you, right?
That's the name of the
You
game.
never know what's going to happen next.
Exactly, you gotta expect the unexpected.
So while Andrea's facing down this terrifying figure,
Yeah.
not everyone is as decisive.
Oh, no, you're talking about Emily and Sarah R., right?
Sadly, yes.
The two players who stayed on the beach.
They were paralyzed by indecision.
Yeah, they just couldn't make up their minds.
And the storm claims them.
Oh, no.
It's a harsh reminder that in this game, inaction can be just as deadly as making the wrong choice.
Wow, so Chapter 3 ends with a whole lot of questions.
Oh, it does. A lot of cliffhangers.
Who's going to survive the storm?
Right.
What's the meaning of the marking?
What about Graham in that void?
What about Ian up on the mast?
It's like the island has just thrown down the gauntlet.
It has, and the players are going to have to step up.
They're going to have to dig deep if they want to survive.
So before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to know what really stood out to you in this chapter.
That's a good question. There's so much going on.
Was there a particular decision that surprised you?
You know, I think for me, it's the contrast between the players who embrace the unknown
Yes.
and those who try to control it.
Yes, like Graham choosing darkness.
Exactly. Or Andrea confronting the figure.
There's a certain fearlessness there.
There is. It's fascinating.
I can't wait to see how those choices play out in the next
Oh,
chapter.
I mean, this could be good.
But we'll save that discussion for part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good to me.
So don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back after the break. You know, it's really interesting how that storm, it kind of mirrors like the internal struggles of the players.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's like the island's testing their resilience physically and mentally.
Absolutely. Like it intensifies all the pressure they're already feeling, and then they have to make these snap decisions.
Right. And those decisions have huge consequences.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's go back to the group at the stone slab.
Oh, yeah, Peter and Chelsea.
They are determined,
Resourceful.
so resourceful. They want to uncover the secrets of that stone, even with the storm raging around them.
It's a bold move.
It is bold, especially with that creepy humming.
Oh, yeah, that humming, it's like the island's warning them.
Right, like, don't mess with me.
Exactly.
But their reasons for braving that storm,
Yeah.
they're really revealing, I think.
Okay, tell me more.
Chelsea sees the stone as like a potential guide, like a yellow brick road to understanding the island.
Oh, that's an interesting way to put it.
Peter, on the other hand, he's more drawn to the challenge. Like,
Ugh.
he's got to answer the call of the stone.
Oh, I get that. He can't resist.
Yeah, especially since he's already soaked from the rain.
It's like, well, I'm already wet. Might as well go for it.
Exactly. You gotta lean into the chaos sometimes.
But does their curiosity lead them to answers?
Or more trouble.
Right. We'll have to see.
That's the gamble.
That's the gamble they're taking.
Meanwhile, that group who took shelter in the cave,
Oh, yeah. Mayoli, Chris, and Jill,
they're facing their own set of anxieties.
I bet, huddled in that dark, damp cave,
Right. Listening to the storm rage outside.
not knowing what's out there.
And knowing it's probably not good.
Probably not.
Like a classic fight or flight situation.
It is, right?
And they chose flight, but now their shelter feels more like a trap.
Oh, yeah. Especially with that screech echoing in their minds.
Oh, yeah, that blood-curdling screech.
Like a constant reminder of the dangers lurking outside.
It's like the island is toying with them.
You know, it's interesting how the players who confronted the threats
Yeah, like Andrea facing that figure.
head on, they seem to be doing better than those who are hiding or running away.
I think you're right. It's like the island rewards those who are proactive.
Those who make decisions, even if they're risky.
Exactly.
And speaking of risky decisions,
Uh-oh.
the group who stepped into that bone dust circle.
That choice, oof. Big consequences.
Major consequences, that marking. It's one of the most intriguing parts of this chapter.
It really is. Adds a whole new layer of complexity.
Like, what does it even mean?
Right.
It's like the island is claiming them.
Branding them.
And we don't know if it's a death sentence,
Or a test.
a way to separate the strong from the weak.
We just don't know yet.
But while some of those marked players panicked,
Yeah, understand him.
tried to escape,
Right?
others, like Rosendo, they kept their cool. He used his cunning, found that map and key.
Right. Those items could be vital.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe even the key to breaking the curse. Who knows?
It's like the island is giving them a chance to fight back.
Right.
Yeah.
A way to maybe change their fate.
And it's not just about the physical items.
No.
Some players escaped with tools and supplies.
Like what?
Tafana grabbed a compass. Mayo got some rope.
Oh.
Mike managed to snag a toolbox.
They're arming themselves.
They're getting ready for a battle, but they don't even know who or what they're fighting against.
That's the scary part.
It really is.
So while all that's happening, Ian's still up on the mast.
Oh, poor Ian.
That decision, it's weighing on him.
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Save Graham, climb higher, or seek shelter in the potentially cursed ship.
It's a classic dilemma, loyalty versus self-preservation.
And we know Ian, he's all about intelligence.
He is. He likes to think things through.
But in a situation like this, logic can only take you so far?
Right. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
Absolutely.
And while Ian's wrestling with that decision, Graham's having a whole other experience in that void.
Oh, void, it's so mysterious.
It is. And his choice to embrace the darkness.
It's fascinating.
Choosing the unknown over the familiar.
It suggests a level of trust in his instincts.
Right, like a willingness to surrender to the forces at play.
It's almost spiritual.
It is. It really is. It's like he's saying, okay, Island, I'm listening. Show me what you've got.
It's such a contrast to the other players who are trying to control the situation.
Yeah, trying to outsmart the island.
Who do you think will fare better? The ones who fight back or the ones who surrender?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is, and it seems like Chapter 3 is setting us up for a battle between these two approaches.
I see that, yeah. Like, on one hand, you have Andrea and Graham.
Embracing the unknown, trusting their instincts.
And then you have Peter, Chelsea, and Rosendo trying to solve the puzzles, find the clues, outsmart the island.
It's a fascinating dynamic.
It really is, and it's all happening against this backdrop of this increasingly hostile and unpredictable environment.
The storm, the markings, that void.
It's like the island is showing its true colors,
And it's not pretty.
and the players are caught in the middle.
Having to make choices that will determine not only their fate, but maybe the fate of the game itself.
It's intense. Before we move on, I have to ask you,
Yeah,
do you think those player skills will be enough to survive,
that's a great question.
or they need something more,
Something beyond strategy and resourcefulness.
like intuition or faith?
Maybe something intangible.
We'll explore that more as we get deeper into the chapter.
We will, but I have a feeling this island's got more surprises in store for us.
Oh, I bet it does. And for the players.
Definitely.
So let's take a break, come back fresh for the final part of our deep dive into Chapter 3 of Survive the Island. Okay, we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into Chapter 3 of Survive the Island. Man, what a chapter, huh?
It was wild. So much happened.
So many twists and turns. I felt like I was on a roller coaster.
It's like the island itself is this giant puzzle, right?
Yeah.
It keeps revealing these little pieces,
Yeah.
but it never gives you the full picture.
And just when you think you're starting to understand it,
Right.
it throws something else at you.
Throws you a curveball.
Exactly. And we're seeing how these individual challenges,
Like the storm, the carvings,
it's all connected.
they're all intertwined somehow.
And that just makes the stakes even higher. You mentioned earlier that the island might reward those who are proactive.
Yeah.
Those who, like, confront danger head on.
Right.
Do you think that applies to those who were marked inside the shipwreck?
That's a good question. I mean, they were definitely proactive,
Right.
but it landed them in a pretty scary situation.
Yeah, like their curiosity led them to that bone dust circle,
Right.
and now they're dealing with the consequences.
But even in the face of that threat,
Yeah.
we see them adapting,
Okay.
using their skills to find a way forward.
Right, like Rosendo found that map and key.
Right, and others escaped with tools and supplies.
They're not giving up.
No, they're not.
And those items, they could be crucial.
Yeah.
Maybe the key to breaking the curse? Who knows?
Let's see.
But I keep thinking about Graham.
Graham in the void.
Yeah, his choice to embrace the darkness.
That was a powerful moment.
It was. It felt symbolic, right?
It did. Like he's rejecting the easy path,
Right.
embracing the unknown.
And it really contrasts with those other players
Yeah.
who are trying to figure out the rules.
Right, trying to solve the puzzles.
Trying to control the situation.
And Graham's just letting go.
He's like surrendering to the experience.
It makes you wonder,
What?
are their skills, their strategies, Are those enough to survive?
Right. Do they need something more?
Something intangible.
Like intuition.
Yeah, faith, something like that.
That's what makes Survive
Mm.
the island so compelling.
It's not just a game of strategy.
It challenges your beliefs?
Your perceptions, your sense of self.
Exactly.
And I think as we head into Chapter 4,
Yeah.
we're going to see that even more.
Oh, I bet we are.
The island's going to keep pushing those players to their limits.
Absolutely.
They're going to have to face those external dangers
Right.
and their own internal demons.
It's like the island's a mirror.
Yeah, reflecting back their fears, their desires.
And how they choose to deal with those reflections.
That'll determine their fate.
Wow, that's deep.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Chapter 3, I want to leave you with this.
Okay, hit me.
What would you do if you were in their shoes?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Would you fight back? Try to outsmart the island?
Or surrender.
Embrace the unknown?
That's a great question. A lot to think about.
It is, and that's what we're here for.
It gets you thinking.
To spark those conversations.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
Stay curious out there.